Good, happy Wednesday morning and happy hump day, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's get started. First up, Manchester passes smoking ban in some city parks. Let's take a listen to this video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
The furniture industry changed a lot since Ippolito's Furniture opened 40 years ago.
While other stores have pushed aside American-made products in favor of cheaper imports, at Ippolito's we vowed to fill our store with quality furniture made in the USA.
Now close to 90% of our furniture is American-made.
Our showrooms are larger, brighter, and easier to shop. And our new website is even better than before. Progress. It's what's made America.
And Ippolito's Furniture. Ippolito'sFurniture.com.
This is a modified version of the original proposal. Think of it like a pilot program. For now, smoking won't be allowed in 4 city parks. Aldermen just voted and the ban passed easily tonight with only 1 vote against it. Police will now enforce the city ordinance at Pulaski, Bronstein, Victory, and Veterans Parks. A first offense will result in a $50 fine, second offense $100, and third offense will mean a trip to court. Supporters say it'll be good for public safety and health. And while it was received well by aldermen tonight, some did raise concerns about how police will be able to enforce it. Police saying tonight that they will do the best that they can. City leaders say this ban will be in effect for 6 months, and then they'll reassess to see how well the city ordinance is working. Reporting live in Manchester, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And if you live in the Manchester area, and if you are a smoker or you go to parks in Manchester, comment below and let us know what you think about that new idea. Traffic green line service set to resume near Common Ave Bridge. Let's take a listen to this video from WCVB Boston.
Please, a 1-cent difference makes all the difference. That's why U.S. Cellular puts towers where most others don't. Sadly, they're using a good enough network.
Hello? Left or right?
What's one wrong turn? So get our stronger signal in the middle of anywhere.
New on 5, a big sign of progress on the Common Bridge Green Line trains. They're testing the tracks right now. Vehicles will be allowed back on the bridge in the morning. Just in time for the commute, the T says trains will now be able to go much faster over that bridge. They were at 5 to 6 miles an hour before the work.
Now you can see we have new infrastructure, new track, new rail bed, new ballast, and ties, rail, and power infrastructure. So that'll give us the ability now to probably be able to operate over the bridge between 15 and 20 miles an hour.
MassDOT says the work is mostly done, but there will still be some lane closures in the future. So the BU bridge will be opening once again 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay, and there you go on that report. People in Boston should be happy about their morning commute now near that area. We're following some breaking news. State police respond to crash in Porter. Maine State Police responded to a crash on Speck Pond Road early Wednesday morning. State Police dispatchers said there were injuries in the crash, but did not know the exact of the injuries. The road is currently open to traffic. This is a developing story. Check back for further updates. Donald Trump has a very clear attitude about mortality. He doesn't believe in it. The more President Donald Trump reveals his character, the more he isolates himself from the American mainstream. In a resources press conference this afternoon, the president again blamed both sides for deadly violence in Charlottesville. He acquitted Unity and Right protesters, a collection including white supremacist, neo-Nazi, and ex-KKK leader David Duke, with protesters who showed up to the counter them. Earlier, he targeted business leaders, especially executives from Merck, Under Armour, Internal, and the Alliance for American Manufacture, who had quite a White House advisor panel over Trump's message. In a tweet, the president called them grand standards. Trump lashes out at elite left in Charlottesville, says fine people on both sides. Let's take a listen to this video from ABC News.
Show you all hotels, right? Well, they don't. Actually, you're kind of hotel blind. Different websites show you different hotels. Some websites may only show you these, while some apps show you those. But because Trivago compares hundreds of sites, Trivago shows you a better overview of available hotels. And that's one more way Trivago helps you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
We begin tonight with President Trump in the lobby of Trump Tower, spending 15 minutes late today defending his response to Charlottesville. The president facing outrage after taking 48 hours to condemn racism and to call out groups by name, much of that from leaders of his own party. Tonight, President Trump said he needed all of the facts before delivering his response, and he went on to say that there is blame on both sides, that there were fine people on both sides, in his words, adding the initial protesters did have a permit. ABC's Mary Bruce was there for it all. She leads us off tonight.
President Trump today defiant and doubling down, defending his decision to wait 48 hours after the hate-fueled violence in Charlottesville to call out the white supremacists by name.
Why did you wait so long until last week then?
I didn't wait long. I didn't wait long. I didn't wait long. I wanted to make sure, unlike most politicians, that what I said was correct, not make a quick statement. The statement I made on Saturday, the first statement, was a fine statement. But you don't make statements that direct unless you know the fact. It takes a little while to get the facts. You still don't know the facts. And it's a very, very important process to me. And it's a very important statement. As I said on, remember this, Saturday, we condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. It has no place in America. And then I went on from there.
With the backlash growing, the president did not address the fact that the First Lady, his daughter Ivanka Trump, and the Vice President all condemned the racism before he did.
So making the statement when I made it was excellent. In fact, the young woman, who I hear is a fantastic young woman, her mother wrote me and said, through, I guess, Twitter, social media, the nicest things, and I very much appreciated that.
But the fallout has been swift. At least 5 members of the president's Manufacturing Council, several top CEOs, all leaving. For them, the cost of doing business with the Trump administration now seeming to outweigh the benefits. The CEO of Walmart said you missed a critical opportunity to help bring the country together. Did you?
Not at all. I think the country, look, you take a look. I've created over 1 million jobs since I'm president. The country is booming. The stock market is setting records.
The president insisting he was right to wait to respond until he had the full story.
There was no way of making a correct statement that early. I had to see the facts, unlike a lot of reporters. Unlike a lot of reporters.
Mr. President,
I
why
didn't know
then do you
David
think
Duke was there. I wanted to see the facts. And the facts, as they started coming out, were very well stated. In fact, everybody said his statement was beautiful. If he would have made it sooner, that would have been good. I couldn't have made it sooner because I didn't know all of the facts. Frankly, people still don't know all of the facts.
3 days after white supremacists marched in the streets, the president is now back to square one, again blaming all sides. The president now labeling the counter-protesters the alt-left and saying they deserve blame too.
What about the alt-left that came charging at the, as you say, the alt-right? Do they have any semblance of guilt?
This is Senator,
Let me ask you this. What about the fact they came charging with clubs in their hands, swinging clubs? Do they have any problem? I think they do. So, as far as I'm concerned, that was a horrible, horrible day. Wait a minute. I'm not finished. I'm not finished, fake news. That was a horrible day. I will tell you something. I watched those very closely, much more closely than you people watched it. And you have, you had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent. And nobody wants to say that.
And what about that initial group that took to the streets on Friday night? The president defended some of them too.
I've condemned neo-Nazis. I've condemned many different groups, but not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me. Not all of those people were white supremacists by any stretch. Those people were also there because they wanted to protest the taking down of a statue, Robert E. Lee.
So I asked the president, is he putting the counter-protesters in the same category as the white supremacists? And are you putting what you're calling the alt-left and white supremacists on the same moral plane?
I'm not putting anybody on a moral plane. What I'm saying is this. You had a group on one side and you had a group on the other, and they came at each other with clubs, and it was vicious, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible thing to watch. But there is another side. There was a group on this side, you can call them the left, you've just called them the left, that came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's the way it is. Well, I do think there's blame. Yes, I think there's blame on both sides. You look at both sides. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either. And if you reported it accurately, you would say.
The president standing firm by his response and his leadership.
Excuse me, they didn't put themselves down as you, and you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
And Mary Bruce with us from outside Trump Tower tonight. And Mary, the president made it clear he believes there is blame on both sides here. The reaction is pouring in tonight. The Republican Speaker of the House saying there can be no moral ambiguity.
David, the Speaker of the House is usually one of the president's top defenders, but he just tweeted, "We must be clear, white supremacy is repulsive. This bigotry is counter to all this country stands for. There can be no moral ambiguity." And on the other side of the aisle, Democrat Chris Murphy tweeting, "Just stopped on a roadside to read POTUS remarks. I nearly threw up." An American president offering a defense of white supremacists? My God.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday and see you back here later on today. Goodbye, everyone.